myself to the edge of my limits and beyond. But you've been born with a natural talent far beyond my own. No amount of training could have closed the gap between us. I realize that now. It was made painfully obvious to me today as I watched your fight with Babidi's monster. Imagine my shock to see the undeniable proof, to discover that no matter how hard I tried, I would never be able to catch you. A warrior prince forever living in the shadow of a low-level clown. So that's when I secretly made up my mind.
You fool! You deliberately let yourself fall under Babidi's spell!
Yes, I saw the power of Babidi's magic. At the World Martial Arts Tournament, those two henchmen he sent. The people who had seen those fighters in the previous tournament couldn't understand how they become so powerful. But you and I know, don't we? It was Babidi's magic, and I knew that what his magic had done for those fighters, it could also do for me. I knew that if I allowed myself to fall under his control, the difference in our power would disappear. I'm quite pleased with the results, even if they do come at a price. I'd say the end more than justifies the means.
Vegeta, I don't understand. You've never allowed anyone to help you before in your life. Why start now? Why Babidi?
Because I wanted him to reawaken the evil in my heart. I wanted him to return me to the way I was before! I was the perfect warrior, cold and ruthless. I lived by my strength alone, uninhibited by foolish emotion. But slowly, over the years, I became one of you, my quest for greatness gradually giving way to this life of mediocrity. I awoke one day to find that I had settled down, formed a family. I had even grown quite fond of them. Would you believe, I almost started to think the Earth was a nice place to live. Do you understand now, Kakarot? That's why I needed Babidi, to set me free, by releasing the evil in my heart. He has freed me of these petty attachments. And I'd have to say it feels pretty good.
Do you really believe what you're saying?
Shalom, shalom family. Hope everyone is doing well and staying blessed out here. We're back with another video. I hope you guys enjoyed that clip in the beginning. The title of this video, as already shown, is Pride Goeth Before Destruction. All right, and we're going to be talking about two different things here. It's going to be pride and envy, actually. That's why I added those two scriptures at the beginning. And the reason why I'm talking about this topic is because, you know, I really think it's indicative of the times, of the things that's going around in this world today. There's a heavy spirit of pride and envy, amongst other things, right? And you know, I don't think this topic gets talked about enough, especially because we're living in the times of social media, you know, where we're basically inundated and living in this fake world, this digitized, you know, matrix, so to speak. So it's almost like we're already living in a matrix, but then we're living in a matrix on top of a matrix. So it's Inception, right? So, you know, I added that clip, and for those of you who don't know, I don't know how you don't know, you must be living under a rock, but for those of you who don't know, that clip was from a show called Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Z is fairly old. I think it's been around since the 80s, but I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. And you know, I love Dragon Ball Z. I love it, or I loved it growing up. Heavily demonic show. I'm not gonna hold you. That show is very demonic, but there's a lot of life lessons in it. Separating the esoteric from the show. They do take biblical elements, as with every show, but as I want to point out or focus my attention on is just a lesson, the life lesson that was shown here. In this clip, you have Vegeta, the character with the blue on, and he's speaking to Goku. And the conversation is going that Vegeta is basically revealing to him that he has this secret animosity, or this secret offense, right? As the Bible puts it, secret offense. And he's pretty much angry at Goku for naturally being better than him. And what we call is envy. That's envy, right? He's angry at Goku for the talent and for the gifts that he possesses that he realizes that he will never have, right? So as he's talking to him, he begins to reveal further that he actually sacrificed his soul to the wizard Babidi. Like I said, it's demonic, but let's just try to stay focused here. But he sold his soul to the wizard Babidi for more power, just to be on the same level as Goku or surpass him. Now, that's pride. Not only is that envy, but that's pride. His pride made him, he gave into the spirit of pride, which made him commit that act, right? He gave into two spirits, actually, pride and envy. But his pride wouldn't allow him to accept that Goku was better than him, that Goku was naturally better than him. So through his pride, right, his envy for Goku manifested itself through his actions. And that's really the crux of the topic, is if you're not careful, especially living on this this fake world that we call social media, you can be swept up in these spirits, man. They're very pervasive, and it particularly happens when you don't have a lot going for yourself. You may be in a downtrodden position in life, or whatever the case may be. You haven't found yourself yet, right? So you start looking at everybody else and what they got going on, and you may be feeling envious or jealous. And that is a very, very evil, negative spirit, very vindictive spirit, because what that'll end up doing is it'll make you do things you normally wouldn't do, right? Especially with pride tacked onto it. Your pride will sit there and make you unaccountable for your life decisions for the reason that you're in that position in the first place. And you won't be able to see your envy because of your pride. And you'd believe that, oh, this person has something I think or I believe I deserve. Why don't I have it? Right? You look at somebody else, look at their life, look at how successful, and you'll begin to covet after that, right? As the scriptures warn against covetousness. Do not covet thy neighbor's property. That's what that goes into. Being jealous to the point where you believe you deserve what your neighbor, your brother, or what somebody else has. And like I said, that will lead to you doing whatever to destroy that person. And in itself, you'll end up destroying yourself. See, pride, it's a very slippery slope. And when you're prideful, like I said, you'll make a lot of choices, detrimental choices to your own life that'll end up destroying you in the long run. See, you'll think because you have all this pride that you would be able to, the object of your ire will be somebody you perceive as a rival or somebody that you don't like because you're jealous of them. You'll spend your life trying to tear this person down or trying to destroy them, and ultimately you'll be destroyed. So it's really something that we all need to watch out for and be wary of, because it can jump on any one of us if we're not careful. Okay, that's all we need to keep the Most High first. And by keeping him first, meaning keeping his laws, statutes, commandments, right? And keeping the faith in his son. These are the ways that we can prevent ourselves from, being overcome by the Spirit. So ultimately what that means is, by doing that, we're also able to focus on our goals and our gifts that the Most High has manifested in us, to prevent us from going off and worrying about what other people will do. Because don't get it twisted, social media was designed for this purpose in mind. It was designed for other things, like porn and everything else, but it was also designed for you to basically envy. It was designed for the demon of envy, right? And the way it works is they do channel these demons, these portals, and basically your phone, the television, computer screen, all of these things are black mirrors, right? They're black mirrors, and you can channel or enchant whatever spirit or invoke a spirit through those portals, right? When you're watching television, you're literally broadcasting or using it as a scrying mirror to show what it is that you want to show, your TV programming, right? So a lot of this stuff is witchcraft, really. At the end of the day, we were never really supposed to have these things, but we have them, right? So we just have to understand the nature of the game and that there are demons at work here, there are demonic forces at work here. So whenever you're on social media, that's why it pays to be careful of the content you ingest, because that'll have a lot of psychological holes on you. Case in point, whenever you're scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through YouTube, you'll be scrolling like looking for something completely different. You may be researching a video or whatever, and then boom, ass, boom, titties, twerking. Like it'll just be all this nudity and shit that you didn't even plan on looking at, but here it is. And at least as a man, if you're gonna be real, it's harder for me to turn away from those things because I like looking at you like looking at women. So they strategically put these things in this witchcraft, right? It is witchcraft, but they strategically put these things in place to get you to go off, to get you to fall into your lust. That way, you fall prey to these demons. And like I said, pride and envy is no different. They have it set up to where people are flexing and flossing their wealth and their glory on the internet, to where that's all you're seeing. All you're seeing is the thousands of posts of how pretty much they're telling you how better my life is compared to yours. And so you start feeling a certain type of way. If you're not spiritually rooted, you're going to become uprooted and feel like, wow, I feel like I should have that. Why don't I have that? And really this comes from a place of self-hatred, right? Envy or jealousy always comes from a place of self-hatred, from a why don't I have this, because you feel like somebody is better than you and that you deserve this and that you don't want them to have it. So now envy got your ass on social media messaging this content creator or this YouTuber, whoever, and pretty much saying hateful things or being a hater, what we call a hater. See, it develops into you having a disdain for this person, and then you ultimately becoming a hater, which is the worst position you could be in, right? So a lot of the times, and actually the way you become a hater is you're a fan first, right? So what a fan is a fanatic, and basically as a fan you idolize and worship this person. You put them on a pedestal, you prop them up on a pedestal, and then when they're not the person you want them to be, or when they do something that you perceive as being a slight or a secret offense, as the Bible puts it, or you start to envy this person. Now that quote unquote love of this person turns into hate, right? So now you basically become a hater, and now your sole mission is to destroy this person at all costs because of some perceived slight, or because you believe they have something you should have. And man, you just can't operate like that, because you're only destroying yourself, right? These people don't know you, don't care about you. So you sitting here pissed off at your own life, really at your own shortcomings, but because your pride is not allowing you to acknowledge your own shortcomings and have accountability for yourself. Now you're directing your own hatred towards yourself at another person. You're projecting, right? That's what happens. So we just need to be aware of these things and just stay focused, man. Stay focused on yourself. When you start to focus on self-growth and, just on your own Damascus road of growing spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever, working on your goals, right? Setting goals for yourself and working on those, that'll cut out all the bullshit. Right? Don't be so attached to social media. Get disconnected from social media. Come out to the outside world, because when you stay in that cesspool, in that bubble of social media, in that matrix, I'm telling you, man, all manner of demons start attacking you. And you're sitting there wondering why are these things happening to me? Why am I constantly being attacked? Like, what's going on here? It's like as soon as I'm staying on here for longer than I should have, now all of a sudden I got all these thoughts in my head, and I don't know where they came from. That's why. Because you're too plugged into this matrix, into this fake world, when you should be establishing and building your real world, right? Excuse me. Because things are going on in the real world, but you're too focused on other people, on other things that you have no business worrying about, right? So, and like I said, that's intrinsically how social media was designed, but you have to learn how to navigate it and use it, right? Don't let it use you, you use it, okay? And that's really how we stay away from that. But I want to continue actually with some scriptures, as a matter of fact. All right, so this is Proverbs 11:2, and it reads, "When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom." All right, so that's pretty self-explanatory. The lowly means the meek, the humble, right? With them comes wisdom, because you're not puffed up. Pride puffeth up. You know, you walk around with your chest up, you know, thinking that you're a big man, thinking that you're better than everybody, you know, not having accountability, but your life is in shambles. Right? But on the inside, you're all fucked up, because you don't want to acknowledge that you aren't God. You aren't a God. You need help. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs things they need to work on, right? That you need to fix. Nobody is perfect. All right? So let's continue. This is Proverbs 16:5, and it says, "Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished." Right. So you can be, and right here is detailing, you can be somebody who believes in the Most High and joins hand in hand with your brothers, your sisters. You know, you're in concert or in league with the Most High and what He has going on. But because you are prideful, because you are proud, you will be punished. You will be brought low. You know, man was made to be humbled. If you're too prideful, the Most High will knock you down. I've seen it happen every single time, right? Look at what happened with Mike Tyson. He was the baddest man on the planet, right? I want to say from the late 80s to the 90s, or maybe the early 90s, he was considered the baddest man on the planet. But I believe in the 2000 era, that's when he started to decline, right? Man was made to be humble, okay? So let's continue. It says Proverbs chapter 29, verse 23, and it says, "A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit." Right, so the Most High a lot of the times will knock you down to a lower state, to make you realize you ain't all that you thought you are, okay? And once you're at that lower state, then the Most High will what? If you receive it, the Most High will put the spirit of honor upon you, to uphold you and humble you in spirit. So what counteracts pride? Honor. Okay? That demonic spirit of pride gets counteracted with the Holy Spirit, or the virtuous spirit of honor. Okay? That's how we counteract that. By being honorable to what? To yourself. Being honorable to yourself by acknowledging your faults, acknowledging that you have things to work on, working on those things, and not being so prideful. All right. So let's continue. And this is it, the famous scripture, Proverbs 16:18. "Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall." So that's pretty self-explanatory. Everybody should know that verse. Okay. This is Galatians 6:3. It says, "For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself." So, of course, this goes into really like delusion, I can't think of the word right now. Basically being in delusion, right? You believe that you're better than what you really are. And that's why I said that's when the Most High will bring you back low and bring you back to reality. Snap back to reality, or that's what He'll do. So, it says, let's continue. Okay. It says, this is James 4:6, and it reads, "But He giveth more grace, wherefore He saith, the Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble." Okay, we'll continue. Proverbs 27:2, "Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger and not thine own lips. So this is also prideful and basically going into boasting, right? You're very boastful. You're big upping yourself, as my Jamaican brothers would put it. You big up yourself, you know, and you're basically, you know, giving yourself praise and honor. And you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to allow other people to do that, you know. Because everybody knows the people who do that, it's just a lame thing to do. You know, why do you need to talk about how good you are, how great you are, when your efforts should show for themselves? Let your actions speak. Don't talk about it. Be about it. You know? So let's continue. This one about the cut, boy. It says, Proverbs 26:12. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope for a fool than for him. I'm gonna read it again. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. So the Most High is saying there's more hope for a fool, for an idiot, than somebody who believes themselves to be wise in their own conceitedness. Damn. That just shows you how much the Most High hates prideful people, man. Where you feel like you don't deserve any correction or you can't be corrected. And I know some people like that, boy. I know several people like that, actually. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know who you are. And I know y'all brothers and sisters have people in your lives who are like that. Okay? You can't tell them nothing. You can't correct them on nothing. They just know everything. Everybody around them happens to make mistakes or fuck up, but they don't. You know, they're perfect. Yeah, okay. And the Most High, a lot of the times, he actually uses people around you to chastise you. That's how the Most High chastises you. He'll either send something in your life, somebody in your life, or people around you to correct you, right? But what do people say? Can't nobody judge me. Only God can judge me. Well, he's judging you. As a matter of fact, he's allowing people to chastise you. Now, obviously, you have to discern whether it's chastising or it's somebody hating on you, right? You have to discern that. Everything's nuanced. But for the most part, you know in your spirit when you're doing something wrong, you ain't got no business doing, and somebody correct you on it, and now you want to get upset because they done told you the truth. As Paul says, what? Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So a lot of the times these people are so prideful, right, that they don't want to see correction. They don't believe they deserve correction, right? So I'm telling you, these people who always say, can't nobody judge me, only God can judge me. Okay, well, when the highest come and judge you, your ass don't want that. It's better I judge you here than the Most High judge you. Because when the Most High judge you, that shit is permanent. You can be so prideful to the point where you keep being prideful and boasting till the Most High just destroy you, man. That's what happens. Because what? The wages of sin are death. So in the end of your sin, you keep sinning, the Most High gonna deal with you. That's why he gives you several opportunities through people, right? Through the people in your life, because the Most High loves you. He doesn't want you to perish or be destroyed, but you keep forcing his hand, he gonna destroy you. The Most High is not the one to play with, man. I don't know why y'all playing with him. And I get all of us, you know, you fall and it tells you in the scriptures, a righteous man fall down 7 times, but he gets back up 8. Okay? We all struggle. We all battling with sin. I understand that. But when you're sitting here willfully sinning and not giving a fuck, don't care about what somebody else is telling you and trying to chastise you. They're trying to chastise you because they care about you. But you don't care about that. Okay. So when the Most High judge you, don't say nothing. Man, y'all don't understand, man. The Most High is not one to be played with, and everybody think it's Satan. It's Satan. It's Satan. No. Satan has to go to the Most High. It tells you that in the book of Job. Satan has to literally go to the Most High and ask him to do shit. Right? In the book of Job, paraphrasing, but he had to go to the Most High and he was like, you know, can I do this or can I do that to Job? And the Most High said, you may test him, but you cannot kill him. That's for me. Right? It tells you also in the scriptures, paraphrasing, but life and, you know, the Most High basically brings alive and he kills. Life and death is the power of the Most High. He controls the right hand and the left. So Satan has to bow down to the Most High. So when, as it pertains in the scriptures, when it says Satan is the adversary, he's the adversary of man, not the Most High. Okay, I think a lot of people seem to forget that. They think in their mind that Satan is the adversary to the Most High, and it's like this battle between the Most High and Satan. No, Satan got to bow down before the Most High. That's how awesome the Most High is. That's how terrible he is. Right? The demons underneath him have to bow down to the Most High. Right? So a lot of the times, we don't understand really who the Most High is and what type of power is. He is loving. He is loving. Don't get it twisted. He's long suffering. But that long suffering and grace only goes so far. He's your heavenly Father. It's like your regular father. Your Father loves you. His long suffering and his grace only goes so far. So you continue poking that bear. Okay, the bear gonna snap. The bear gonna bite back. That's how the Most High is. He loves you, but if you keep ignoring him and keep ignoring his voice, keep ignoring what he's telling you to do, then, okay, I'm not gonna deal with you no more. And that's the scariest feeling. I know y'all know. The Most High tells you in the back of your head, I'm not gonna deal with you no more. I'm gonna let whatever happened to you happen to you. And then your judgment comes swiftly after. It is what it is. But let's continue. Okay, this is Proverbs 14:30, and it reads, "A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones." Envy will literally rot you from the inside out if you're not careful. It'll make you look older than you actually are, start to age you. That's what a lot of these sins do, right? You start to look morose, decrepit, right? Like you the walking dead, because that's what you are. Sin opens the portals for demonic possession, opens the portals for demons to inhabit your flesh and for disease. So you start looking rotten, soulless, right? Especially with envy. Envy, like it says, is the rottenness of the bones, man. When you allow certain spirits to pervade you, to pervade your temple, your being, it changes you. It literally changes your countenance. And I know y'all remember the video I did on countenance, right? That goes into your countenance. That's why it tells you in the scriptures what the countenance of a man in his gait or his walk, or how he walks, or how he moves, shows you who he is, right? You look at somebody's countenance, you look at the eyes, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. You look at their whole being, and it's just dark, right? You just see darkness on them, right? Heavy eyelids, blackened eyes, sunken cheeks. You can be like, this person, this brother or sister, like they got a drug problem. They're battling some type of addiction. Like you can see the demons on people. Like when you really start to look at people and how they walk and how they operate, that's their countenance. You'll see what kind of demonic strongholds are on these people, man. I'm telling you. But let's continue. It's Proverbs 23:17. It says, "Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long." In Galatians 5, chapter 5, verses 19 through 21. Actually, I'm skip over that. Sorry. It's Galatians 5, chapter 26. It says, "Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another." So this ties back to the point I made about people on social media being braggadocious, right? Flexing and flaunting their wealth. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that at all, because as telling the scriptures, it provokes one another, right? So what happens is, because I saw actually yesterday, there was a video, I was watching one of Abba and Preach's videos, and they were speaking on how basically this dude got robbed. I guess he was in the UK, I don't know what he does, but he was flaunting and flexing his wealth, and he got robbed. He got stabbed, he got cut up, and they robbed him. And the thing about it is, what made it worse was that he had children. So I don't really recall or remember if the children were in the house at the time, but that shit could have been bad, let alone you getting robbed, but something could have happened to your children, man. And see, that's why you don't do shit like that. I mean, it should be a simple life lesson. Most people understand, who have even a fucking pinky of wisdom. They understand, okay, I don't need to be. This is something I don't need to be doing. Why would I brag about my wealth? Meanwhile, these social media apps on your phone have tracker devices or have your location on. It's always set on unless you turn it off, so people can just find you. They can just pull up. Not only that, but you set your location where you going to all these different places. I know people on Facebook always do this. They set their location on where they're going, and I'm like, why are you doing this? So somebody can pull up on you. You don't know you got stalkers, you got envious people, jealous people of you, and they seeing you post your location, posting where you at. These motherfuckers can pull up on you. Don't know them. They pull up on you on the humbug, and now you looking crazy. All right. So we gotta walk circumspectly, man. Especially in these days, it's getting crazy. Y'all just don't understand, man. I know y'all know about CERN and the portals opening and all that. I'm not gonna get too crazy with it, but I know if y'all are wondering why there's so much demonic activity, like a rise in it, like something's just off, right? Everybody's getting like they're getting darker. That's why. All right, we in the end times, man. This ain't nothing to be played with. You gotta walk circumspectly. Okay? Make sure you're watching whatever you're doing, because it's gonna get real. In the next couple of months, it's going to get real. Okay? Not trying to scare y'all, but just be aware. Okay? So I think I'll wrap it up here. I might do a part 2. We'll see. But yeah, I think that ties up basically what I want to speak about watching for pride and envy. Those are very powerful spirits. There's a lot of different spirits, a lot of different demonic spirits, but those take a hold of people, especially in this day and time, especially with the abundance of wealth, right? I put that in quotations, the abundance of wealth that's going out. So y'all just be careful, stay safe. I hope you receive some type of edification in this video. Please comment down below, let me know what y'all thought. And I love y'all. Shalom to you, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.